Hello, hello. Elvika, you lost an A.
What'd you say?
I said, Elvika, you lost an A.
Hi, everyone. There you go.
Hello,
How
hello.
are you?
Good. I had my 101 class and it was really good. And then afterwards, I went to pet Mushy on my bed and fell asleep. And so I just woke up and haven't eaten anything. And so I'm so sorry. Protein bar. At least I can get
I
some.
wish I can look so good when I just woke up.
It's Mary Kay.
You really don't look as if you just woke up.
That's nice. Well, I did. So this is kind of funny. All right. Help me remember who's in this class still. I know Dottie and Myrna. Isn't there one more?
Yeah, oh, Dottie, Myrna.
Lydia.
Nydia.
Lydia.
Of course.
Yes.
How could I forget such a wonderful gem? Well. Oh, look, there's Nydia right now.
Hey, Amanda.
Elvika.
Lydia.
Good morning. Good morning. Or good afternoon. Sorry.
Elvika, I'm going to come see you soon.
How soon?
I will see you November 8th through November 12th.
Oh, wow.
That doesn't sound like a lot of time, but it's okay.
Only 4 days.
I think it's 5 days, really. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 5
I
days.
suppose you, okay.
You were supposed to what?
Guys, I don't know, my internet connection is unstable. I don't know why. I would maybe have to switch to my phone.
Hopefully she gathered that. Now where'd Nady go? Oh, there you are. I thought your background was real. Tricked me.
I did too. You look so California with that background behind you and your shades on.
I could, yeah. Let's see.
You know what? It is supposed to be fall here.
There, that's real.
Yesterday it was 96 degrees. Come on. Give it a break.
No, that's a real background there.
Yay.
See? Not much different. I think it's so funny out here. It's actually nice. Probably 70s right now.
Oh,
but then it's only about 11 o'clock a.m.
Oh, yeah. It's not terrible here today. It's 88 right now. It'll get up to 90, but I'm tired of the hot weather. I want some fall action. Hey, but wait, I'm going. Elvika, she's here now, I think. Well, maybe not. Are you here? No. Okay. I don't know what it's going to be like there. Of course, in a month, we might actually have fall weather.
In a month.
In a month, I'll go see Elvika and at least go to South Africa. And so I leave on the 5th, but don't get there till the 7th, and then don't get to her area till the 8th. But yeah.
So are we not meeting then on November 5th?
We are. I will leave after class. Although I was going to request something from all of you. Is it at all possible to meet an hour early?
Yes.
Just that day. Just that day. Here, let me look at the date. Yeah, if possible, I would love to meet at noon Central. So I need to talk to Elvika too. And who else are we missing? Myrna. Oh goodness, but by that time, it'll be weird time in Australia. I don't know what time it'll be. Okay. I'm sorry. I was explaining. I accidentally fell asleep after the last class, and so I didn't have time for food. Okay. So I guess I know Elvika's having problems and trying to connect with her phone, but I haven't seen that come up yet. So let's just get started, shall we? And I don't know about Myrna. She was in 101, but I don't know where she's at now. First of all, let's connect in the heavenly classroom, and then let's share some homework stuff, okay? Okay, let's focus
Sari,
in.
¿me quieres ayudar a poner ropa en esa caja?
Whatever Nita
Sorry.
has been. She's speaking in tongues over there. Okay, could you please focus back here when you get a second? Okay. I want to start this time. I never start, and it's not because of that, but it's because at the end of the 101 class, right as we were getting to leave, Dottie sent a message that said, "Do you know who my heavenly scribe is?" And I thought, well, I was already closing everything out, so I didn't even acknowledge that she did that. And then I thought, oh, I'll engage over it later. And then, like I said, I fell asleep petting the dog and just woke up. But we were in class in the heavenly classroom. I think I've told you, and I think some of you are like me now too, where I engage really quickly. So it sometimes feels like forever of waiting. I don't know if I told you this, but this is how it feels to me. And so I never know if it's like enough time for everyone or everyone's sitting around bored. I have no idea. But for me, I'm pretty much always sitting around bored because the first maybe 30 seconds is I get like a ton of download and I know like that's all I'm supposed to see. So anyway, that kind of happened. But I was waiting and watching for Elvika and then I felt led to ask for Dottie's scribe. And I have to tell you how fun it was. You know your turtle who is part of your heavenly team. I was told your turtle is your scribe, and I'm like, but that doesn't really make sense. This is what I was doing. Okay, I have a tendency to do this and kind of go, am I actually seeing this right? And that doesn't make sense. And then all of a sudden he started showing himself to me. So if you know, I don't really always see a whole lot exactly in the spirit. I like have a knowing of all these things, but so at first I only like knew it was the turtle. And then all of a sudden I see him and he has this great, first of all, he's pretty big, which I didn't know. At least what I saw. He was pretty big, almost like a small tortoise size. And he also, I don't know how to explain this, but kind of like Dottie would know. But you know how a box turtle looks here in Kansas? I can't hear you. Can you turn on your mic maybe?
You didn't hear, I was talking loud. You didn't hear in Kansas. Is it kind of like the nose goes like this, is kind of like a wider face type thing and a bigger
Okay, probably, but
shell?
that I wasn't even seeing the nose and face. I was just seeing the shell. So I was thinking of the shell because the shell, you know how it has like different kind of sections. I don't know what the official word
Yes.
is for them, but anyway, I saw this one section light up with like rainbow. It almost looked like one of those games that you play that has little things and lights up. And so anyway, this thing lit up and it was recording audio. And so I wasn't thinking of that. I was only thinking of like writing and it started recording the audio and it just reminded me exactly. So Metatron's cube is where like everything is recorded for the Lord. And it's all the rainbow colors. Everything is recorded in like video basically. And I tend to forget that. I don't know why, but it's not really something I think about every day. And so when I saw that light up with all the different rainbow colors like that, and that it was recording audio, I was like, oh, it just connected everything, like why he was the scribe. And so anyway, I just wanted to tell you that since that was kind of an important part.
I pictured the game Simon you know,
Exactly. That's what I was
lights up
thinking
like
of.
this.
Yes.
And just when I was in the bathroom, maybe half an hour ago, I said, God, I write down all kinds of journals. I don't go back to read them. I write so much. When will I ever go back? I said, can you just keep everything up there so I don't have to worry about, I threw out a whole bunch of old notes because I'm never going to go through them. And I'll
Right.
spend an hour and a half going through stuff. And I'm like, this is really good. This is really good. But it's overwhelming. I said, just help me to remember it in the spirit. And so thank you for that. I had completely forgotten I had texted that just because you said you'd seen people's scribes.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool. I also saw, um, so I had asked Aureaus to speak today for class, mainly because I just was not really receiving what I was supposed to teach on today. And so I knew he was supposed to speak at some time. So I asked him if he would. He said, sure. And then as we were engaging the classroom, I saw that both Lady Wisdom and Melchizedek were all standing at the front right next to him. And first of all, they're all going to speak today. And I also got this kind of cool download of more of the blueprint of Kohen Gadol and how they are this bench of heavenly teachers, and how today, even though we will receive things, it is primarily for the heavenly beings. Okay. So they're going to be taught more than we're going to be taught today. But that doesn't mean we're not going to be taught. I'm just letting you know. Okay. It's going to be geared to them more than anything. So that was kind of cool because I didn't know. I mean, I just asked Aureaus and then I didn't know Melchizedek. I've never even heard Melchizedek speak like that. So yeah, I'm interested to see what will happen. Maybe he won't exactly speak, kind of like with Lady Wisdom. A lot of times she just goes and like kind of ministers to people and stuff. And so maybe it's something like that. I don't know. But I just want to let you know that's what I experienced today. Okay, how about River? Maybe.
Okay.
There.
So as soon as we went into the classroom, I was back in that huge valley. And we were, of course, we were up at the front. And in the past, I told you how all of the valley was filled with lots of beings and just massive amount of people. And it was kind of grayed out. And last week, it's like the color was starting to come in and people were starting. Well, this time, there was actually beams of light that were coming in, and the valley was lighting up because it had been kind of in shadows. This time, and in fact, over the course of time, because I was sitting there waiting for Christine to call us back, I'm just sitting there watching it, and it like literally, most of color came back to everyone. And it was like some of them were like, it's just their eyes were just opened, but they weren't engaged. So some of them were engaged, and many of them were just like, okay, we're here and we're expecting and we're waiting. And like sunlight had pretty much rolled across the whole valley, not into the mountains in the distance, but across the valley.
That's cool. I'm getting more revelation as you're speaking. Kind of fun. Amanda, what did you experience?
So mine was like when I didn't know that we were, I don't know why it didn't click with me when you said let's engage. And so I was like, oh wait, I'm supposed to be engaging. What am I doing? So when I walked into the classroom, there was a lot of people there, or a lot of beings. And it just made sense what you and River said, because everybody was celebrating and they were laughing and they were dancing. And it was like some of them had came on a long journey. They hadn't been to the classroom yet, but they had just arrived, and they were there, and everybody was welcoming them. And we're getting ready for the class to begin. So, yeah, that's what I saw.
Yay, that's cool. Awesome. Nydia, are you available? No? Okay. That's okay. Dottie.
Oh, muting and unmuting. So earlier when I saw the different classrooms this morning and I saw there was a lab, the chemistry lab, and I'm like, I have to do chemistry, but I knew that there were some things on there. This time I thought of the heavenly beings. There's some microscopic heavenly beings that are part of the class. And I said, okay, we'll go into my finger for healing. Like, can you go into my finger? Because it's heaven's inside me. So can you like go through my body and heal the scar too and eat the scar tissue? And then I said, okay, go through everybody's heavenly beings. I kind of pictured the land all kind of connected. We've been playing Carcassonne, but the land was actually us, and there's shields on there. Anyway, I know it sounds weird. So I was praying for these microscopic things to go like Pac-Man and go through and eat all the stuff that didn't belong. So then, of course, I brought up Christian Beneke, who I've been praying for, who's that friend of my daughter's, the pastor's son-in-law, has lung cancer and brain cancer and spinal fluid. And I thought, go in and eat the small, because I pictured they could eat small cell cancer. So I pictured doing that. And then I thought, the magic erasers, the Mr. Clean sponge, that's a magic eraser. So like I pictured the Pac-Man type microscopic heavenly beings going through and eating the bad stuff that didn't belong in any of our bodies, and a magic cleaning eraser being used to clean out the outside if there was any sludge grown up on the outside of the tissues of the vessels or whatever. So it was just a really cool thing. And that's basically all I saw before you mentioned this. So I just kept reaching out more.
That's awesome. Cool. Elvika, I know that you came in near the end. Were you engaging at all? Oh, now we can't hear you at all. Darn, that happened last time. Okay, if you have anything you want to share, put it in the chat. And hi, Myrna. I know you hopped on after we're done engaging, so. Okay, so I don't know, Myrna, if you heard what I was saying, but today is going to be a day that we listen to our heavenly teaching team. And I didn't know it would be a teaching team, but that's what it's going to be. So Aureaus is going to lead, but also Melchizedek will be teaching and Lady Wisdom. And so what we will do is after we share our homework, we will focus in and what has thank you. I'm excited to see you too, Elvika. What we'll do is focus in and what has happened in the past that I've seen while listening is that he tends to, and this is with Aureaus only, I know, okay, because I haven't heard Melchizedek speak or anything like that. But when Aureaus has taught in the past, it's generally been like one person is hearing him. And then he switches and speaks to another person and they're hearing him. And so just don't be discouraged if you're hearing nothing. It's probably because you're not the one who's hearing. On the other hand, if you are hearing something, even if you feel unsure about it, he's probably speaking to you and you need to be the one to talk. Okay. So just kind of letting you know how that might go.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. So
I'm excited, but very excited.
good. I think it's going to be awesome. I was also telling them that I could tell that this class is going to be a lot more geared to all the heavenly beings than to us, like normal. Even though they are going to teach us, it's going to be really, really good for all the heavenly beings. So
yeah,
that's cool.
Hmm.
So first off, if you don't mind, could you each give a little bit of testimony maybe to what you discovered in your homework and all of that sort of stuff?
For me, you're talking to me?
Sure,
Yeah.
go for it.
Okay.
Last to
Um,
arrive, first to share.
Big. Yeah. Um, yeah, we had actually open doors and keys. I'm not sure what's open doors to, but it's not just one door, it's actually multiple. Because when I engaged with Nydia, I noticed when I engaged that most of the time we go into the door, but then we get some crowns on our head. We got actually, I've written things down in here. Just grab this one. Sorry. When we engage, we receive like victory, freedom, strength, and boldness. But these ones, I'm just, so honored that the Lord is just, strengthening us and making us so strong and making us, exactly like Him and giving us that authority to go in, and whatever it's happening and to do. There's other things is in there. When I actually remember which one are they, because there was too many, you know. Actually, when I engage, there's actually so much. I love the oneness with the Lord. That's the most, important part, and the way I rest inside of Him. So it's just more automatic. Like it's not like struggling anymore to go in to do that. And yeah, so the Lord is gave us to how do I say it? It's just like leading us to be to be like a leader and to be more in tune with others instead of being, I want things for myself only. So to be more serving others than, like and I noticed that He's giving us more to be like kings and priests. It's not like selfless, like when go in there to be in tune with Him, and then, to be led and do whatever we need to do with the other person, like the one we engage with. Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
Cool. And then Nydia said, we were reassured in Him.
Yeah, reassured in Him. So like reassured in Him, embraced by Him, reminding us that He has a plan, like He created us, not just, oh, here you are, I have a plan for your future. No, I created you with a plan and purpose in mind. You are equipped, you are complete, you have everything you need accessible to you. So we were like reassured of like who we are in Him and united in Him. And like peace and strength and like the flow of God, just like, feeling those areas in ourselves, in our bodies, to just be reassured and like realigned to Him. That's part of it. Yeah, the dog. Sorry about the background. The dog's getting yelled at because they're probably in the middle of people's legs.
And the best part is that Billa was there and Aureaus was there. I sensed that Aureaus was there. I said, in my mind, I said, I'm not sure if I said it loud to Nydia, but I said, welcome, Aureaus. But yeah, I know for sure I did say that.
That's
So
fun.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. Okay. How about Elvika? Wait, you can't talk, can you? Okay, never mind. if you have anything you want to share about what you experienced in the spirit when you were doing homework stuff, put it in the chat box for us, okay? Okay. How about Dottie?
Well, I found out that someone had sent me information on some kind of special transact card and whatever. And I was like, oh, I so wanted to do this. And I trust him because he's a friend of yours. And I thought, wow, this is great. It's something my husband worries about money. And then I brought it up to him. And he's like, oh, it's a scam. Don't do that. Da, da, da. And I, for the first time, I said, let's talk about it. So we talked. And he said, if it's going to be real, then it's going to be real in 6 months. Anyway, I actually had peace about it before I had a conference with Josh and Kim and who had heard about it as well. So I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. But, but I had already gotten peace. So instead of seeking someone for an answer, which is why I kind of didn't really want to ask you, just because you said, I know everybody, I can hear everybody's scribes, you happen to say that. So I've not asked you, do you know my scribe? But anyway, instead of seeking Kim and Josh, what should I do? Let's engage about what should I do. I came already knowing that. God's changed my personality to, you're supposed to hear from God, get confirmation from others. I've heard that, yeah, but I've always done the opposite. So I'm maturing and growing up and hearing. So then what am I supposed to do? And I love the math. Instead of the CD and the Bible verses to song and the Rockabye Baby book and all these other things that I want to do, I'm already tutoring. I feel, even though I can be exhausted, I can have passion. If I have a student, I can just drum up, yes, let's do math. So that's right now my current passion. And besides dealing relationship with God and relationship with Mark and really working on that, which he's speaking to me when I sit down and get my journal. I know he's speaking to me. I'm finally doing something to rest and hear and listen. What's the word listen? 2 ears, 1 mouth. I should listen not just twice as much, 1,000 times as much as I speak. And so he said, well, I can just put math online for those that I'm tutoring now. Instead of so pressured, where do I begin? How about just little 30-second or 2 minute, 3 minutes reiteration of what I've just taught. And then I can just create a YouTube account just for my current students. That's less pressure. It's good practice. And then if I do want to put the online, then I can do that later on. But it's something I felt I can handle. And they said, and you're already capable of doing it. You're already in whatever you call that word that begins with an E. He's already given you the capability to do that. And so I thought, wow, all right. So that was what I heard about. I talked to heavenly beings, but hadn't seen any, and talked to Turtle and Bison and Tobias and asked about who are you and my angels. So thank you for answering. Now I can talk to them as if they're real, because when you doubt in your mind, maybe they're too shy to show themselves. I don't know, but now I can kind of visualize.
Awesome. Alvika said, I engaged a lot with Melchizedek even this morning, so I'm quite excited about today. Oh, that's cool. Awesome. Amanda, how about you? Can you share?
All right. Well, okay, so mine was to shed some mindsets that I was that needed to come out. And they were coming out by pulling the roots and everything. I could see the Lord just pulling them out. And one of them was it was an orphan mindset, which is to manipulate and to like act like a spoiled child towards the father and to try to get things my way. And so that was one of them. And so when I first sent you my homework, it was very brief, but then I engaged with River later on, and he showed me a whole lot more. And So one of the things that I'm going to learn in this next year in the heavens is um, how to love and honor my team. And that's where I'll begin, because my ministry is healing of hearts. And I believe maybe that's might be the name of it. And when I wrote that, I was like, oh, Christine's going to think I'm crazy. I'm writing this. She's going to look at my homework. So I didn't realize that last week, because River asked me, what's on your scroll? And I said, you know what? Let me look. And I went back and looked, and it was the same thing, but it was more, it was written out more. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I wasn't just thinking, that it was a crazy answer. So, but and it's to really learn how to honor them, not just to say that I honor them. And it's really about um, respecting them, respecting their time, respecting their what's respecting their time, and respecting like not just what I want, but what others need, and what they, to like delegate to them, and not just like try to be controlling of the team, but to delegate and really implement uh, why they're on the team and the purpose that they have there. And then let's see, and I'm still not completely sure about who's on the bench. We kind of said that maybe, I know Lucas is going to be a part of it, because Lucas has a heart of gold, and he likes to help others. It pleases him to help others, and he brings a lot of wisdom with him. And Lucas is my angel, and he also, I'm thinking maybe wisdom is going to be part of that, and I love to engage with wisdom.
That's cool.
And
I
that's
believe
it.
you thought I would think you were crazy.
I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so like, I don't know, maybe it's too bold. But
No. Oh, come.
that's what we're gonna have to do, right? Is be
That
bold.
is so funny, because you said that and I was like, what did I miss that was so weird? And that's funny. Well, that's pretty awesome. Okay, River, how about you?
Okay. So the first place that I went was to kind of open up to, okay, where are the places that that I'm holding back, or that get in the way of me being fully stepping into what was on the destiny scroll that I was given. And it was having to do with being afraid that I couldn't do it, or that it was too big. And I recognized that all of that has to do with fearing how other people are going to, kind of like what Amanda just did with saying that thing to you, right? As opposed to like honoring and recognizing and keeping my eyes on the Lord, and that this is what where he's taking to me, and he's going to give me step 1, step 2, and continually forward. So ultimately it comes down to fear of man as opposed to fear of God. And so get rid of that. I don't want to stand in that place. So continually put my eyes on the Lord. And then Amanda said something about rivers of life that flowing through me in this process. And I saw myself immediately at the place. I can't remember if I shared with you guys, but earlier, a couple of months ago, I had this experience in the middle of Washington when I was out in the desert camping with my family. And it was pre-dawn, and I had this experience with the Lord of reclaiming the state of Washington and then beyond for the Father as his land. He's the one that created it. Nobody gets to take it. It's his. He made it. We're saying no to all the rest of the stuff that came on top of it, political agendas and all that kind of stuff, and ownership and all that. And so when I was there again, and I felt like this like beam of river essentially coming down, pouring down through me, and it was spinning out of me like counterclockwise, like a spiral. And it was spinning out to those people that I'm working with. And so it started off with like one person and then two, and then it just kind of continued to get bigger until it was like spilling over and covering the state. And as it kind of poured into each one of them, it would wake them up to that next level of their ability to pour out rivers of living water to as they walk through, the physical plane as temples of the living Lord. And then in asking about the angel, I didn't even really see the whole angel because he was so big. He just covered the entire state. And I saw his like feet huge and on the state. And then Amanda recognized that he has a real strong connection with the Native American tribes. And there's a lot of that pagan witchcraft energy in the state of Washington. So I'm excited that is starting to crumble from the foundations. That's it.
Awesome. Nice. Wow. It's so amazing when you were saying that. Right before you started talking about the Native American stuff, it had nothing to do with what you were talking about right before that, but the Lord reminded me how I'm supposed to connect these Native Americans to the Khoisan in South Africa. They just requested that. And so anyway, which they're the First Nations people there, And so anyway, then you said that and I was like, wow, okay. All right, Lord. I see you. I hear you. That's very cool. And to know that I need to connect them first in the spirit, I think, and then connect them in the earth. So anyway, that was cool. Thanks for sharing all that, River. Also, Dottie, that's so cool. Okay, there's so much more I missed. Avika said, I always knew there was something about your name, River. Living waters are flowing through you. She would say it in a very sweet, nice way, though. And then what?
Can I add something about the American Native Americans? I don't know if you give him 15. We didn't give God 15 devotions from Dutch sheets, and they're taught, and how all over the summer they had a conquest or request from God to go plant these heavenly what do you call it, arrowheads all around every state, walk around all the states, praying around the borders of all the states. And so all of a sudden Native Americans have just been on my heart. And I've always been really scared of what do you call it?
Dream catchers.
Dream catchers. They just bothered my spirit. In the first house we bought here, in the picture that Mark took pictures when he went through it, because he bought it without me seeing it. I saw those pictures when I moved here. I was like, they didn't even clean up before we got here. First of all, dishes all over the place. And all those dream catchers were all around. And I just couldn't sleep that first night. It was just one of those things that God had to heal me from. But then I even saw last night how Mark's watching this rock and roll thing. And there's a Native American that was a rock and roll, just how awesome, and how he wanted to bring up his culture and all that. And so it's just something that's I never really thought about, but really, really is instrumental. God's really doing stuff about that. That was neat that you shared about that.
That's awesome. Cool. Also, Dottie, you wrote in the chat, equipped was the word. Zoom recordings, and my son-in-law can help splice recordings, and my daughter may be able to help with other things, not math parts. Maybe they'd be the bench of three. Still engaging about it. That's cool. Awesome. Well, anyone have anything else they need to add before we start listening to our fabulous teachers?
I wanted to say something.
Go ahead.
When we were engaging and I was seeing the Native Americans, for some reason I saw you, but I I was like, well, I don't know why I'm seeing Christine, but um, with you saying what you were saying, because in my mind I said, well, yeah, but she's in South Africa. She's doing stuff over there. So how could she be connected over here? But
Well,
now I
that's
know.
why. Yeah. And one of the things that, okay, when the First Nations people in South Africa asked me to be their ambassador, I first of all felt like, why the heck would you ask me? um, but they wanted me to connect them with all of the First Nations peoples in the world. And oddly, I do have a lot of connections to First Nations people everywhere. I have no idea why, because, like, look at me, white girl. I'm not that person. But um, I have connections in Malaysia with First Nations people. I have connections in Australia with First Nations people. I have connections here a lot. I come from Medicine Lodge, Kansas, which is all Indian, okay. We call them Indians, but Native Americans, it's all Native American. I have great connections here with Native Americans. And one of my good friends, um, who was in my first engaging group here, uh, she has a real mandate for all of the Native American. She's a Native American and also a Jew. So it's really cool. She kind of has both roots. And she has such a passion for redeeming the land and all of that, and um, does everything from the heavenly realms. And so she's connected a lot to Dutch she's, by the way. And so anyway, that's cool that you saw that, because a lot of times I don't know. I've had a lot of weird Native American experiences in the spirit while doing conferences in different countries. So that's what's kind of weird, is like they're always joining me in other countries when they're from here. So I don't know. It's really interesting. I haven't fully figured all this stuff out, but I have a mandate for it somehow. So anyway, thank you. Okay. Well, shall we switch gears? Um, let's just lean into our awesome teachers for today. And oh, interesting, Myrna. That's really interesting. One of the first people I met in Engaging Heaven, the first person I ever met in Australia, is an Aboriginal person who engages, and she's like fantastic. So that's pretty fun. Anyway, let's focus into our heavenly team. When I say that, our heavenly teaching team. Okay. And if you sense anything about what is being spoken, please either write it down or save it in your heart so you can share it with the class. I mean, with at least this part of the class. Okay. The other part of the class probably easily can hear. But for us, so that we will all be able to hear what's being spoken. Okay. And I don't know for sure if I I was trying to figure out, are they going to take turns, or are they all going to speak at the same time? What are they doing? And I really don't know. And so we might have them all speaking to us at the same time, or ministering to us. It may not even be speaking, but just pay attention to what's going on. And like I said, if you hear nothing, don't worry about it. Just wait. Okay. Thank you. I have something I need to share before it leaves me. Okay. And I don't want to take too much time, and I don't know if anyone else was receiving anything or not, but I started seeing Aureaus was directing all of these, everyone, all of us, and all of the heavenly beings, like in doing this really kind of massive circle. And it was like creating a whirlwind, basically, if you know what I mean. But the angels who fly were like up top, you know what I mean? And they were all in the top doing this, and it went all the way down. But it was like a dance. It was kind of like a dance that went faster and faster. And I could tell at first it had to do with like this Feast of Tabernacles we're in. And everything that was happening, it's like we were creating a big tabernacle where the Father would come and be in the middle of this whirlwind. And it's like he was living in the midst of us, if that makes sense. And so anyway, all this happened. I was like, wow, this is really crazy. And then he started showing me how this is another way of creating electricity in the earth. You stand in water. He showed me that we are all standing in water at the bottom, and almost like looked like a bathtub or shower or something, but it didn't make sense because there are so many of us. How could that even be? But we were standing in water, and then all of this was creating this massive amount of energy. And anyway, I don't fully understand it all, but it's like he was trying to show me more about manifesting electricity in the earth, even though at first it all had to do with the Feast of Tabernacles. So anyway, that's all. That's what I was being shown. But it had all of us working together, like all of us. And it was like, you know how, I don't know, you guys know about like Jewish dancing and stuff. They do it like every Sabbath, and they do it at every feast and everything. And you get in this big circle together and you do this. It's really like, I don't know what it's called. I should, but I used to go to Messianic Jewish church. But you'd get in this big circle and you like do this weird sidestep kick dancing thing. And anyway, you go around, and that's what everything started like. And then it just got faster and faster, and it was happening like everybody was doing it. And it became so fast that it wasn't recognizable as a dance anymore. But anyway, okay, River.
Yeah, I just have to add this in because it kind of dovetails with this as the Lord does those things. So first, the whirlwind, when you said the whirlwind, because that was that same spiral that was happening when I was standing in the middle of the state, was that spinning out thing. And when I first started engaging here, Melchizedek kind of came at me, and he said, this is the time for the redemption of all things. Elvika had said something about that, I believe. And he said, the heavenly beings and inhabitants are being brought up to speed, and with that this is happening now, and understanding that this has been God's plan all along, and that that whirlwind in now, when I'm not sure what you saw, but when I saw it when I was engaging earlier, it was counterclockwise, and it had to do with unwinding all of the things that were unrighteous, that had all of the errors of man. It had to do with that. So.
I did see it counterclockwise, but I had no revelation about it. So that's awesome. Thank you. Cool. Did anyone else get anything? Dottie?
So first thing I thought of when I closed my eyes, I thought teacher's pet. Have no idea. I think it's because I had this on. I thought those little girls that sit in class with little headband with their hair all, this is not at all my hair. When I went upside down and brushed it upside down, it was out to here and down. I had to show my husband yesterday because how fluffy it is. But anyway, so I wasn't thinking it was me, but I said, Aureus, what do you want to say to us? And I smelled the anointing oil. I picture being at the source, at the steps of the source when I was there in Wichita, and Aureus was outside the steps right there. And a couple of us would huddle over there where the portal was. I could never see him, but I know we were all holding hands, and maybe Farah was there too. And anyway, and I smelled this wonderful smelling anointing oil, like the one that Christine had made for me in this cream. And I said, what do you want to say to us? And I saw something that went zigzag, zigzag, almost like a heartbeat. But immediately I thought of, the voice recordings, if you hear someone's voice pattern, it goes up and down and like this. And so it was like a voice recording that he was speaking. That's how he was speaking. And then I saw something that looked like a bridge, and it looked like this. It was like cream cheese with caviar on top. I cannot stand the taste of caviar, but it was like this. And he went to go put it in my mouth, and it had little caviar on top. And I just scraped it off with my teeth. And then you said, okay, anybody want to? I'm like, okay, yeah, because I don't know. I've been eating cream cheese with, lox and bagels and cream cheese with, salmon, but I just don't even like caviar. But I thought there's an old picture that I pictured of a truck, the back of a truck that had chain link fence, and it was all these fish inside. And I knew the fish were my fisher of men, for like either little kids in kids ministry or students of some kind. I don't know. But I pictured us earlier attached when you said like a whirlwind. It wasn't quite a whirlwind, but it was like hexagonal. Then by this vertex, there's maybe a pentagon, and we were all attached by some different random. I kind of tried to draw a little bit of it, but pentagons, and then another vertex would be attached to somebody else, but we were all together. I don't know what blood vessel, little things look like underneath, but we were all attached, and it just kind of went up and around, and they were just kind of like clear. So when you said whirlwind, it just reminded me that I'd seen that when we engaged earlier. But anyway, that his voice was something different than words. That was unique to me.
That's cool. Awesome. Did anyone else get anything?
That was the same dance that I saw earlier when we engaged. It was that dance, and then when we started engaging just now, Wisdom just came and gave me a hug, and she just said, "Let's listen to what Aureus has to say," and that was all.
That's cool. All right.
Mine's cute in the sense that when I was engaging, I was like, all right, guys, we're here. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I want to hear. And like someone in the heavenly beings, one of the beings says, how is it to live in earth? And then I kind of was like, oh gosh, did I just hear what I heard? And that was that. Sorry. That was that.
That's cool. What are you saying, Daddy?
I was waiting till she talked. I wanted to say that is so cool to Nydia. And I had already typed Hava Nagila, that song, because you said the Jewish days, Hava Nagila, Hava. It's been in my brain since you first mentioned it a few minutes ago. And so I pictured Aureus maybe singing that. And I'm like, I wonder what the words are, because I was trying to close, like, what is the voice pattern? What are you trying to sing? It's a voice recording. Am I supposed to listen later, Aureus? I want to know now. But anyway, that was really cool to see that, Nydia.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Let's focus in again, shall we? And let's see what else we are shown. All right. Did anyone get anything else?
Okay, I did. I when I started to go in and I thought, okay, now Aureus, I want to listen to Aureus and Melchizedek said, I'm not done with you. And he said, pick up your pen, which he had me do before. So I picked up my pen and I was saying, I'm not hearing this and I don't know what I'm hearing and how do I hear what you're saying? And he said, look, this is really simple. He said, know that humanity's most righteous fantasies about how all can be living together. Sorry, my handwriting's not that clear, so bear with me. How all can be living together in an Eden-like society are true. That is what the redemption of all things means. That is where it goes. Every time any one of you removes your thoughts from the lies of the enemy, the doubts of his kingdom, you are building a golden highway that all the heavenly beings, that is, all the heavens can travel to inhabit and impact the earth. The heavenly beings bring their frequency of heaven to the earth, and that supports and further strengthens the choices and the changes you each establish as you refuse to camp out or even give audience to the power of the enemy's deception. This includes not only in the manifestation of what the Father is asking each of you to do, it also includes the actions that are taking place across the earth. There should be no concern or worry about the harshness that you see in political theaters and global actions. That's as far as I got.
That's awesome. That was really cool. Anyone else?
I'll speak. I asked Lady Wisdom and Aureus and Melchizedek, how can I help? And I heard erase the blackboard. I pictured a green board, erase the blackboard, and it was the old mindset. So what you're saying, River, is kind of like, the old lies. And I said, what can I give you? Because I pictured giving an apple to the teacher, but what can I give you? And he said, give me your heart. I said, okay, take it up. And he took it up, and it was like, he started grabbing, how when you do a towel, you spin a towel like this to go snap it at somebody, you're just twisting it up. But he was doing that, but we were all giving him, I thought we were all giving him our hearts, whatever, but he twisted it all up like this, some kind of fabric that looked like that. And then it kind of like unspun, and we all went out and were scattered. It was like we were all in fabrics, not knots, but like twisted up in a towel. Okay. So then we got scattered out all over to do our assignments. And I said, will you be with us? He said, of course, you have the mandates. And then I heard each one reach one multiplies exponentially. So each person that we reach is going to be reaching another one. And I said, what are we supposed to be sharing? And he said, God's love. And I pictured those sky dancers, the little toys that, when they're scattered, these were really kind of small that were going out. But anyway, this is, if you're not familiar with the sky dancer toy, that's what it is. She's got something in her hand and just kind of like pull strings and it flies up. And then, so it starts off with the arms down like that. And then you pull a string and then it spins it up in the air. And it was like, that's what they were shooting us off out. Oh, and when you said the highway for the heavenly beings, I still am questioning, like, well, why? I pictured that the highway was some kind of, I don't know if the caviar could be like those microscopic heavenly beings, and I was trying to get them into my body. Why would I eat them? I don't know. Is it because they're black caviar? Was that something evil that I was eating, or is that darkness? I don't know. But just, if anybody has any revelation of why I saw, because you said a highway, and I'm like, why would I picture this high bridge part? I'm questioning myself on that.
Have you asked Yeshua? I don't know if that was a yes or a no.
I said I will ask. Yes.
Okay.
But mm,
Okay, cool.
So when I was engaging, I couldn't really like, I was having trouble, but I think that was just part of what I started seeing was or hearing was like I was in this bedroom and then all these thoughts started coming and I'm like, what, why am I going off like this? Why am I not able to concentrate or to focus? But then um he reminded me, he said, well, that's an intruder. And I said, you're right, that is an intruder. What are you doing here? Because the intruder was yelling at me. And so it goes along with what she was saying about the mindset and uh, pulling those things out. And I was reminded that I have authority over that. And then she was talking about the highway. And this past week, when I engaged, um, both times that, two of the times that I engaged, um, Robert said that he saw me with the Ark of the Covenant, but it wasn't really the Ark as an ARK. It was the Ark as an ARC, because I am an Ark to the covenant of the Father,
Wow.
and that's to bring it down to the earth. And then we saw the Ark of the Covenant when I engaged with Myrna and Elvika.
You know
So
what that
it,
reminds me of? Do you know on the Ark of the Covenant, have you seen the angels who are like arcing? It
mm,
just reminded me of that when you said that. So it's pretty cool.
well, I have a totally different thought. Do you know, have you ever seen Thor?
No, sorry.
Well, Thor, they come down from wherever they're at into the earth, but there's like a highway and it's a rainbow. And that rainbow is an arc that connects them
That's
to the
cool.
earth. That's what that
That's
reminds me of.
that's fun. Cool. Awesome. Did anyone else receive anything?
I did, but I don't like it when this happens where I'm so engaged and then I lose consciousness, if that makes sense. So I start seeing and I was engaging and talking to them, but I forgot
This
what.
happens, just so you know, it's actually better, even though it's not very helpful for us. It's the better place to engage, because what happens is when you fall into that, I always call it the void. Um, but when you fall into that place, it's going way deeper into your unconscious mind. And so it's like the best way to engage in your soul, to where it's not just your conscious thought, what you can intentionally think of, but it goes way deeper into you. And so anyway, just so you know, that's the better place, even though it feels frustrating when you're with a group of people.
Yeah, so yeah, that was me. No idea what I did.
This happened to me too. At first I was engaging, Lady Wisdom came up to me and we had a bit of reconciling to do. And so I know that sounds weird, but that's just our relationship. And so anyway, we had some reconciling to do. And then she wanted to just minister to me and release stuff into me, basically wisdom, but it felt fuller, if you know what I mean. And she started really kind of releasing all this. And at first I was consciously seeing what she was doing. And then I went into this deep unconscious state. And then I'm like, oh man, what was all that stuff that was so awesome? And so, yes, I had the same sort of experience, Nadia. Crazy. Anyone else? You can speak out loud, Dottie.
Well, when I feel like I've talked too much or have spoken. So I don't know if you're familiar with Rainbow Bright. It was my daughter's age. And this is kind of what it is. So he would ride a rainbow, and Starlight was the horse. And she had Rainbow Bright had some friends of different colors. Like we had the little green and whatever, and then they had little, I don't remember, the little Starbrights or something, some little characters as well. But when you were talking about the ark, I just pictured like the ark and you riding on like a horse or whatever, kind of like you were Rainbow Bright riding on a horse to get to the ark of the Ring of the Covenant. It was just such a joyful type thing. I was like, it's not really my thing, seeing rainbows and whatever, but my daughter and my next door neighbor's daughter, she bought it at her garage sale, some little things. Even the carrying case had a rainbow like this. It was this wide of rainbow things. Hadn't thought of
This is
that in
like
many
when
years.
I was a kid. That gets me excited.
Because you're
'Cause
so
I'm
young.
like,
Yes.
I loved Rainbow Bright. Yes.
Yeah, because Dorothy would probably be about 40 now. So yeah, you're that age.
I know.
I love rainbows in bright, bright, bright colors.
That's cool.
If I could wear bright, bright colors all the time, I would.
Why didn't you wear it today?
I don't know. Next time I'll find something.
That's fun.
Christine, stand up. I've been wanting to see your shirt. I only see the top. I love the pink and the blue and the yellow. It's like a map or something.
It
It's
is.
the land, and look how cool is that? And where's South Africa? See, it's just really
probably
close.
on the back that I can't see. I don't know.
Yes. Very, very cool. Thank you for sharing that. It's nice to see you in fun colors too.
I love bright colors too. Actually, I just love all colors. I'm not big on like brown really. Black.
Burnt sienna? No, thank you. That's just
see, I love all the
burnt sienna. You like burnt sienna? It's a flavor of brown, but whenever I had the crayon, it would be like there was some kind of wood inside it, and it would go. It was just the crayon that I had, so I didn't quite like burnt sienna. But now I love tree, so maybe it was a part of a tree that was in there. So I repent for not liking burnt sienna.
That's funny. Okay, anyone else have any experiences you want to share?
I just had a little thing or whatever. It's a big paper. It looks like scroll, and we were dancing at first for all of us so fast, and then this paper is wrapped around me because I was wondering what it is all about, but it kept going round and round and round, and I went very, very fast into it. But there's so much, though. I just want to ask the Lord what it is all about, and I'm sure that all of us would have received something like that. It looks like it's a scroll, like big paper from top of our head to top of the bottom of our feet, like all. It's huge, like it's wrapping. So yeah.
That's cool.
Would be interesting to know what it is all about.
Well, ask, and even if you don't receive, take comfort, because it just means that he's basically surrounding you in your scroll. Like, it's awesome. And this is what he does a lot with people when he has them eat scrolls or whatever. They may not even see what's on it, but it becomes part of who they are. And
Mm.
I know that that's that same feeling of you being wrapped in it. It's like it's almost like you can't escape your scroll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Wow.
Okay. Dottie also said, I pictured this big lamp like a Japanese paper lantern. Oh, like you were just showing. Yep. When you spoke, Myrna, that's what she was seeing. Cool. Okay, Elvika, I know you can't speak, but if you have anything to share, again, put it in the chat box. Okay. All right, let's focus in yet again, okay, and see what else they want to share with us. Okay, let's focus back here. Okay. Go ahead and share.
I'll share. Not sure what's happening with my internet, but it's been like kicking me in and out, and that's weird because it usually doesn't happen with me. But I got kicked out, and then all of a sudden I was like trying to get in, so I don't know if I missed anything
We're just
prior
having,
to this, but if we were all engaging.
yeah.
Okay, good. I kept getting like I was in this group, and it was I was getting like I was kind of going and coming and going and coming, like going into that void and coming, and so I got bits and pieces, and the bits and pieces was it's funny because someone had said, how is it like living in earth? And it was like that topic of conversation. And in our group with the other heavenly beings, they were saying something like about like we're too. It's funny because he said the bit that I got was when you want something, you just like declare it, and it's like Uber Eats. It just comes and it just comes. And I was like, "What you guys know about Uber Eats?" Uber Eats, and because it was almost like saying, you ask, and like we need to believe it's on its way. It's gonna get there, but that we are too like I guess part of trying for them to like they were trying to understand why is it that we're so like we're still so focused inward in our surroundings of what's happening here where we are supposed to be looking above it all or like have a broader perspective, I guess. And for them they were just like telling me that you know it was like Uber Eats. You just order it and you don't wonder if it's going to come. You don't think, you don't, and it just comes, and that we just need to know it just comes, and to like have that faith, and not to worry about like other little things around it, and to have a bigger perspective. But at the same time, I then kept seeing visions, little glimpses of visions of like me in different homes. So I don't know if they were kind of trying to explain like this is how, or I was trying to explain like this is how we live on earth, because it was like different homes that I was like all of a sudden I was in one home, and I was just like doing stuff in that house, like general, like how you live, like just, living life. On one of them, I was doing the dishes, and the other one, I was like just chilling. And another home, I was like doing laundry or something. So it was just like in and out, in and out, in and out. And so I feel like it's almost like I feel like, okay, I'm not sure because it's kind of what I'm getting from all this that I was seeing as if I brought them with me to different areas of people's lives for them to kind of experience what it is to live on earth. But then at the end, we were up in heaven again, and they were like, whoa, yeah. Like, then they were kind of giving me advice as how to do it better, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah, if I get more, I'll share more.
That's cool. Awesome. All right, next. Nobody else got anything this time?
Can
well,
I speak? I changed
yeah,
to
yeah,
my
we
phone.
can.
uh, I'm having so much trouble with my connection tonight. I don't know what's going on. So I'll share my first one and the second one, because the first one is too long to type. But what I experienced was, it was just really like a fun time almost. And I was sitting separate on a bench because I can't talk. I somehow felt that I'm not part of this whole class thing when we were engaging. So all of you came and said, come now, of course you with us on this, come dance with us. So we all dance in a circle. I saw that too. And you know that at one stage they almost like throw each other up in the air. I don't know if it's in a wedding, Jewish wedding or whatever. But I saw that, and I was talking to Lady Wisdom, and what was so cool was that she said, um, do you want to be my friend? And I said, "Oh, yes, of course I want to be your friend. I didn't know that I'm allowed to. Are we allowed to be friends with you?" And she said, of course you are. So that was quite nice. And yeah, and I liked the way she was dressed. It's was kind of like bohemian that I like a lot. And she also had bangles on her arms, like when we were dancing and everything. And then I also, yeah, and Aureaus, it was the first time I experienced him like that. He's a big guy and very protective of us, but he's also like a sweetie pie. Is that true?
Yes,
He's like very
exactly like that.
sweet. Yeah, and he's like saying, don't worry, I've got your back. He's like saying that all the time. I've got you. And then when speaking to Melchizedek, I also saw him. It was almost a bit more formal, a bit more serious, almost like um, that. And um, yeah, at one stage, I almost, when I saw him, I didn't know how to approach him, and I wanted to bow, and he said, no, 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 please don't do that. Don't ever bow. And I said, I actually know that it's the one thing I always say is I will never ever bow before anyone but God. And I said to him, I guess what I actually wanted to do is show you respect and honor. And he said, yes, I got that. Yeah, so that was very nice. But then the second time when we were engaging, I shared with Myrna and with Amanda. I had an argument with my daughter, and for some reason, it upset me a lot, almost more than what it's supposed to. So I realized it brought up a lot of other stuff that I actually have to deal with still. But it was like, yes, it was like almost like I had a pain in my heart this whole time. It was just, and then I asked, how am I supposed to deal with this? How must I approach her or whatever? And then I heard, remember how you guys spoke about a highway? And then I heard, but there's a higher way, and that's the way of love. So just love her. Yeah, so yeah, that was kind of a great thing to me, a great deal. Yes, that's all. Over and out.
Ah, thank you. That's cool. All right. Anyone else? River.
Okay, so again, with this, like, kind of like, okay, I'm being the Melchizedek scribe. um, and he said to me, he said, I, Melchizedek, want to impart to all of you a confidence in the days ahead. From the worldly perspective, things may look very chaotic and troublesome. Do not believe these dangers are long lasting. Call upon your heavenly Father if you feel fear, as he has you in his hands, and no weapon formed against you can or shall prosper. As much as you can, stay in that confidence of the Father's shield over you. As much as you can stay in the confidence of the Father's shield over you, you will have it spill over you and out to those around you and those close to your heart, even if they are not in close proximity to you. And I knew that when you were saying that, it had to do with the frequency of how we're connected energetically with each other and those people that we know. This is a time when all of God's children become as one army, as one warrior inside of one body of armor. And I saw at that point this huge one warrior, and that we were all like inside of actually that one piece of armor. Each of us have our own tasks and focus, and we work together the way the Father and Son meticulously designed the physical body with all of its intricacies to function. You are priests in my order, and as such, I keep a watchful eye on each of you, and you can turn to me for clarity. And then I was like saying, well, what about Aureaus? Because I haven't heard anything from anybody else. And he just said to me, Aureaus is holding court and instruction for the heavenly audience. And then he went back and he said, each one of you can rest on the strength of the mighty cloak mantle that I am putting on you. And I saw him putting these huge things on us. He said, it is a rest. It is a rest in the power that you are standing in as priests, remembering that you each wear it will sustain you when you feel weary.
Awesome. That's encouraging. Cool.
I think I got clarity about what the little tiny black looking caviar was. When I went to inhale, it was like I inhaled all these little things and I pictured them as black, like ninja spies that were going in. Dr. Sarah Jernigan, if you've joined Christine's group on another time, is part of the group, has said that there's things in our bodies that are called fermentin incognita. I don't really, but the body can't find them. And so you can take medicines, but it's hot, they're hiding. And I don't know what kind of things they are, but these were like sent in and trying to find the things that weren't supposed to be in our bodies. Or I don't know whether it was specifically like, okay, I'm inhaling and it's getting rid of just things in my body, or if it's a spiritual thing that we were all sent in as, like all of us being sent in to go get rid of whatever's not supposed to be there. I know there was a 1966 old film, Fantastic Voyage, where this guy had a blood clot, a scientist had a blood clot, and then the big old submarine and its crew shrunk down and was injected into the bloodstream to save the guy's life. So I don't know whether we're supposed to be together to go save the world. I don't know. And then the last thing, how if people say that they've been abducted by aliens and they're put out on a stretcher, put out on a bed, and whatever, they might be doing something. I said, Lady Wisdom, I laid down and I was like, Lady Wisdom, teach me something. I pictured her and it was like she was working on my body. And I said, what are you doing? But it just reminded me of, because this is so alien to me, talking about spiritual thing. She said she was reorganizing and fixing DNA. So I pictured like we do when I did an alternative medicine doctor that was definitely not Christian in Wichita. She said there are spirals around in my body. So when you're all talking about undoing things, there was something like, she would go like this and do things that would unspiral whatever was going on in the body, which is kind of a weird thing. But I felt like she was undoing something in my DNA or in our DNA that was somehow got wrong.
Wow. Cool. That's powerful. Okay, anybody else? Okay, guys. Well, thanks everyone for joining in today. This was kind of fun, interesting, really interesting.
Did you see anything more? I didn't remember if you said anything.
Me. I did. It was all very strange, and it was like tapping into another life that I live in the spirit. I don't know how to explain that, but it was like really weird details about like measurements and how to measure different people and beings and stuff. And anyway, it was nothing that was interesting to everyone else. It was weird and interesting to me, kind of, to see more of that. It was kind of like I was let into more of what I do when I'm not conscious of it, if that makes sense. So, yeah, that was interesting, but there was nothing like really profound. Oh, hey, we measure this and this and this, and I don't know, it was weird. But I do want to tell you guys in 4 minutes, we have kingdom builders. If anyone is a kingdom builder, there is a link. It's not my room, it's Josh's room. So just check your email, or if you need that, let me know and I'll send you the link. But do it quickly because it starts in 4 minutes. Okay. All right. I love you guys. By the way, I'm guessing I'll ask Aureaus, but I doubt we'll have normal homework. So maybe you'll have a week off of normal homework, or you can just engage the Lord and ask him what to do. That's always good. So, okay. All right. I'll let you know. See ya.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you too.
Have a
Bye.
good week.